the way everything registered so late to me. First seeing the teacher, like, it was the way he stormed out. It was something so serious. He was like, he meant business. So I'm sitting there in this family, like, registering, like, what is happening? So everybody look at me, and I'm like, wait, and I hurry up, and I shut out the classroom. When I come out the classroom, Marky Friends is just standing there, right? The same guys that's always with Marky. They standing right there. So I'm like, where he go? So the teacher was like, where's your brother? Where did he go? He come back. So he's pointing his finger. I'm like, I don't know. I was in the classroom with you. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. So he walks like right back in the classroom. So I'm walking behind him. He like, you stay outside my classroom. Whoa. Wait a minute. Cletus, what did I do? What? Why are I'm getting the finger, the index finger? You wait up, like, don't come in this class. So Marky Friends is right there. So I look down the hall, I see Marky peeking. He like, out loud. So he telling everybody, I'm like I can't move. Like, he telling me, like, the teacher looking. So he goes in there and he tells the class, like, you guys do not move. Everybody stay in your seats or I will fail you. I will like, he was straight threatening. That was his to-go-to thing. Like, I will fail you in this class. So as Marky Friends is walking off, he see Marky. So Marky like, you better not do nothing to my brother. So I'm walking, I'm like, Marky looking at me, he like, where you going, bro? I don't even know where I'm going. The teacher just like, follow me. Follow me. He's just telling me to follow him. So I'm following him, right? So Marky, I look behind Marky and his friends, they're following. So you see the teacher turn around like, yeah, come on. I want you guys to follow me. Come on. Every single one of you guys going to be expelled. Like, he was straight, this man was a hothead. It was like, he didn't need to, he was never ever getting worked up. Like I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to like, soon as you do something wrong, he goes straight to 100. Not 0 to 100. He goes straight to 100. So it was just like, this man is really upset. As we go down the stairs, we get in front of the office. So when I turn around and look, I don't see Marky no more. He like, just like I thought, where's your brother at now? Is that your real brother? Like, he's steady wondering. Like, is that I'm like, yes, that's my real brother. He like, your brother gonna make you fail. We go inside the office. So I'm like, how did this backfire? Trigger off like the same thing that happens in the house. Whatever they do, it bounces off on me. Like, how does that happen? So he goes directly in there and he's like requesting the counselor, the dean, and the principal. This man don't want to just talk to the principal. He want to talk to the counselor, the dean, and the principal. Okay, right? So boom, the lady, she's asking like, oh, what's happening? Like, is it insubordination? Like, just asking what's happening. So I'm like, insubordination? Like, what is insubordination? Like, at the time, I didn't know what insubordination meant. So he's like telling, the lady what's happening. So she was like, okay, let me go ahead. The principal is free. You can talk to him first and I'll go check. Who is your dean? Straight up. She asked me like, who was my dean? So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I ain't met the dean yet. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. So she like, give me your name. So I give her my full name. Boom. She like, okay, I'm gonna go get your dean and your counselor. Boom. Go on ahead, y'all can go in the principal office. She walks like coming from around the desk. She opened the door like, a teacher need to speak with you. And then I come and I'm just like, in my mind, like, why am I here? Like, like, immediately I wanted to go in the waterworks. I wanted to cry right there. So the principal, he's looking at me and he's looking at the teacher. He say, you guys again? He like, what happened now? Right? But he was a chill principal. He was a very, very chill principal. So, immediately the teacher, he's like, yeah, I definitely want to know Roshan's brother. What's your brother name? He comes in there disrupting my class. And I'm like, he didn't disrupt the class. Yes, he did. He should be in his own class. So the principal is trying to figure out like, wait, what happened? So the teacher ended up telling the principal everything. So the principal was like, um, what class your brother supposed to be in? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know all his classes. I'm in one class with this man. And that's 50. I don't know. So I'm like, I don't know his classes. What's his name? So I give him the name, boom. So he goes outside his principal office, go outside the door, and he go tell a lady, like, bring this student down, and boom. So I'm sitting there, right? Like, okay. So he like, I want to get in contact with the mother. That's what I want to do. So the teacher is really pressed. He like, I have a class right now that's already started and I'm not there. I have to miss out on the lesson that's supposed to have been taught for today. So the principal was like, well, I do understand and your class is very important. You shouldn't have to, basically entertain one student. But at the same token, I didn't do nothing. So I spoke up for myself. I'm like, but I didn't do nothing. Yeah, but you had your brother to come in. I'm like, I didn't have my brother. I didn't even know he was coming in. Well, you should have told him to leave. By the time I looked up, you was already, everybody was kicking and laughing. So I'm like, but by the time you looked up, I'm like, I was noticing the same time. Yeah, you was noticing the same time. So the principal like, you didn't know your brother was coming? I'm like, no, I didn't. So the lady, she comes in, she like, he's not in his class that he's supposed to be in. So I'm like, I could call him. So the teacher was like, well, I think that's what you should do. So the principal like, yeah, just get, or you want me to call him? I'm like, nah, I'll call him. So boom, I call him. I'm like, where you at? And he like, why? I'm like, because I'm in the office and they looking for you. I'm like, I'm about to get in trouble. He like, what you getting in trouble for? I'm like, because the teacher, he want to talk to you. He like, why you want to talk to me, bro? Why? Just calm like that. Like, why you want to talk to me? Because of the episode you just did. So I'm like, because I'm like, the way you came in this class, he like, all right, I don't want you to get in trouble. Here I come. Tell him here I come. So I'm like, he coming. Well, where is he? I'm like, I don't know. He just said he come. I kid you not. Marky come like in a few seconds. He comes in. And so the teacher, he's pasting back and forth. As soon as Marky come in, he like, I want to know, what's your mother's phone number? He like, why? He like, you was the one in the wrong. He like, you calling my brother a girl. So the principal's like, well, hold on. I already talked to them about that. That was their issue. And so Marky was like, but that's my issue too. So he looks up my brother's name in his computer, in his system, right? So now it's a knock on the principal door. Here comes the dean. Here comes the counselor. They coming in. So they like, hey, what's going on? So they was like, who is Roshan? So I'm like, I'm in the spotlight. I'm like, me. So they was like, so what's happening? I'm like, well, and the principal chimed in, basically gave them a few details. And so then now they caught up the beat, right? So everything else they got to use their contact clues, but they caught up the beat. So he looks up Marky name, the principal. He like, you make all good grades. He like, why are you acting out like that? And so he like, because now your brother might be in trouble because you guys' mother got to come up here. So Marky like, okay, I'll give you the number. Straight up. So I'm looking like, what? No. She could get it. I'm going to get in trouble. Ouch. But I was still stuck on how calm he was over the phone. Like, for what? Like, what you meant for what? So I was still stuck there. So boom, he asks like, okay, well, what's the number? Jot it down. So the principal like, well, I can call. So he like, the teacher said, no, I'm going to call after, school is over with. So now I'm nervous. So the principal tell Marky straight up, please do not enter his class. Don't come to his class if that's not your class. He was like, or we'll have to remove you from the school. So he was keeping like that separation. He like, make sure that you guys understand that you are here to learn, okay? Nobody should not be bullying anybody. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, but I didn't even do nothing. I didn't even know my brother was coming. So Marky like, he didn't know. I just wanted to remind him. So the principal like, can we stop pointing? Let's stop pointing. Because when you point at someone, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. So I'm like, what? At the time, I didn't understand that saying. Now I do. But at the time, I ain't understand the saying. So boom, we leaving out. So the teacher, he tells me, make it to my class now. So I'm like, I gotta use, because I kept saying I gotta use it. I'm like, I gotta use it. I go to the bathroom, Marky comes in there. He like, bro. I'm like, yeah. He like, I'm telling mom. I'm like, no, don't tell mom. I'm like, he said he gonna call, let mom bring. He like, no, I'm telling mom, I'm calling her now. I'm like, don't call her now. I'm like, cause she gonna come up to the school. So he like, you gonna let him tell on us first? I'm like, yeah, let him tell first. And I'm like, then we'll explain. He like, and then when mama say why we didn't tell, I'm like, we gonna tell because we already told the principal. I'm like, which we did. We went down there, we had already told the principal already. The first time, the teacher, he talked to the principal. He never called my mama to talk then when he was in the wrong. So I was thinking like, I got this under control. So boom, I go to the class. So he like, all right. So now I'm in the classroom. And you can tell that the teacher is just, he on 100. He's red in the face. So he like, all right. So we're going to get to the projects from yesterday. He like, ladies, come up, please. So the ladies come up. So he was like, all right, talk about your project. So they talked about their project. He like, all right, now I need someone to explain the project. Now, it was one person that only could explain the project. So we was on the boys team, we was like kind of nervous because we was like, dang, we all got like cue cards that this guy wrote out that we could be able to all take a chunk. But now one person gotta say everything about the project. And me, please don't pick me because I don't know. So the girls, they did good. They explained their project, the one girl, so boom. The teacher, he like, I'm going to give you a grade later today. I will put it in the system and I will put it on the board for tomorrow. So, right? He's mad, even the way he's talking. He like, guys, please come up here so you can get ready to explain your project. So they talked about the project. Now you got to explain the project. So they was like, who's going to be explaining the project? So everybody looking. He like, Roshan, would you like to explain? I'm like, no, we all got to pick, right? He was like, I just wanted to see, did you want to explain the project? Did you help with the project? So now he's nitpicking. I'm like, yo, it's kind of crazy because if you say like a teacher picking on me, most people be like, no, it's normally the kid. But sometimes believe the kid. This man was legit trying to egg it on. Like he was just upset. He couldn't, in other words, as we say today, he couldn't get his lick back the way he wanted to. So he wanted to pull my teeth out, give me a stressful time. So they was like, so now the team was like, you want to do it? I'm like, no. So the other guy that wrote the cue cards, he like, I'll do it. So boom, he go ahead and explain the project. Boom, we sit down, the bell rings. So now class is over fast. He say, so sis, guys, wait a minute before you get ready to go. Everybody, before you go out the door. So he like, sis, we missed a big chunk of the class. We had a test, a pop quiz today. You guys was not able to do it. So I have to take points away from your project. So everybody like, what? Like that sounded insane. So the girl's like, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Like, we don't even know what's going on. Like you left the class. So he was like, I would think about if I want to give you the quiz tomorrow. But for right now, I will be taking a piece of the grade from each and every last classmate. You can thank Roshan and Roshan's brother. So everybody looked at me and I'm like, so Roosevelt like, don't worry, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. So it was like, all right, guys, have a good day. And we all leave out. Why blame it on me? Why blame it on me? So people come to my locker like, see, your brother. I'm like, he might give it to us tomorrow. Like he's saying he might think about it. They like, we better not fail. So the girls, they was a little bit upset. So Roosevelt like, hey, you coming to the game? I'm like, yeah. So I see Marky like, hey, come on. So he like, why you always hanging with this dude? I'm like, he cool. This Roosevelt, this Mark. So Mark like, yeah. So Roosevelt like, what's up? He like, Marky look like, yeah, come on, bro. So he like, what happened? I'm like, man, this man was nitpicking. He said, since it's because of me and you that everybody missed the quiz, they taking a percentage. So mind you, we ditching 5th period. we gets down there in the game now. We go through this tunnel. I loved it, Marky. Skew. We go down this hallway and then we go through this tunnel, right? This leading up to where they're about to get ready to play basketball at, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm seeing people. So I happen to see Roosevelt coming in. So I'm like, bro, he like, no, he look like a lame, like straight up. Marky was not playing that, like, no, don't get close with nobody. So you see Roosevelt and his people, they go sit down. They see me, I'm like, Marky, like, put your hands down. So I'm like, oh, they got popcorn, they got hot dogs, they got, you know what I'm saying? They had chips, they had something to drink, at the game. So they come out, boom. You see Gregory Boo, he on the basketball team. And it's a good game, right? People selling T-shirts, from the school, like, hey, we got $15 T-shirts, you know what I'm saying? So it's a great game, right? And I'm enjoying it. I glance at Roosevelt, and I see the girl with the pretty lip gloss. I'm like, Marky, look. So I'm like, he down there with the girl, like, and they was sitting up there, like, chopping it up. Like, they was chopping it up. So I'm sitting there, it gets like third quarter or whatever. So I see the girl with the lip gloss. She goes down there to where they selling like something to drink at and, something to eat. So I'm like, Marky, I'm going to be back. He like, where you going? I'm like, I'm finna go down there. He like, I could go with you. I'm like, no, stay right here. So I'm telling everybody, excuse me. I'm trying to get through, excuse me. Boom. Then I come down. So she's like already in the line. So I'm still going, boom. I gets in the line. She gets up there. She's already up there before me. She gets up there in order. I get straight out the line. And the dude, he's telling how much. So he's like, I think he said $11 and some or whatever the case may be. But I remember because I gave him a straight dub, right? And so I was looking like, with my change, I wasn't even paying attention to, I actually saw the price. So I'm like, hey, I got it. And so she looking at me like, no, that's okay. I'm like, no. I'm like, I got it. She like, who is you? I'm like, they call me Rody Doty. My name Roshan. I'm like, who is you? So the guy was like, all right, so who paying? I'm like, I'm paying, just take my money. So she like, no, I'm like, take my money. She like, no, I'm like, take my money. So boom, the guy take the money. So she was like, you didn't have to do that. So he give me the change back. So I'm like, how much was this, right? It was pretty expensive. She didn't even have a lot of stuff. So I'm like, okay, like, that was a lot. Like, when you think about it, when you go to these events at school, from the shirts on down, it's expensive. And it's like, bro, I'm a part of this. Give me a school discount or something. So she looking at me. She like, well, thank you. I owe you one. I'm like, no. I'm like, what's your name, though? She like, Charzetta. And at first, I could not, I repeat, I could not say her name. I'm like, what? She like, Charzetta. I'm like, Charzetta. So I'm like, I gotta learn. She like, it's Charzetta. So I'm like, Charzetta. I'm like, got you. I'm like, that's a pretty name. So you see the people telling us, like the teachers and stuff, telling us to get off the side because we already had our stuff, but we was kind of still holding up the line. So boom, she like, thanks. And she walks off. That's it. I'm like, Charzetta. She fine. And Roosevelt Noah. So boom, I go ahead, I get back up there by Marky. Marky like, what happened? I'm like, the girl. He like, Joe, everybody want that girl. She beautiful though. I'm like, she's very beautiful. I'm like, breathtaking. Like, woo, she's fine. But she ain't paying me no mind, man. I told him I paid for her stuff. He like, what? I'm like, I paid for her stuff. He like, you a sucker. I'm like, no, I'm not. So boom, we end up winning the game. We miss 5th period. I get ready to go to 6th period, right? The teacher straight up tell me like, hey, you can't come in this class. I'm like, why come I can't? No, you got to go straight to the principal. I'm like, why I got to go to the principal? He like, that's what I was told.